guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, I know, different kind of video. This is not a singing video, it's not a theater video, it's not a vlog. But we're going to be talking about something more important. Water pollution. And I know you guys are probably like, boring. No, this is not boring. You know why? Because it causes a lot of deaths, a lot of illnesses, and it's so relevant in today's world that we need to talk about it. So, welcome to, what are we going to call this video? Hold on. Water pollution. Water pollution facts exposed. Yes, perfect. Anyways, so here we have my laptop. So if you see me looking down, it's because I'm reading from my laptop, from the sources that I found, information that I gathered. I will be showing you all the sources at the end, so don't worry. Anyway, let's begin because this is a very important topic. I'm going to be talking about what water pollution is, how it happens, how it affects the world, and some ideas that I have to reduce water pollution. We have a total of 3 sources. So before we get into a lot of the deep stuff, something very important that you have to know is that more than 80% of sewage is generated by human activities. So we are the reason for water pollution. And more than 50 diseases come from water pollution. And if you think that's shocking, listen to those parts. 50% of child deaths worldwide are related to poor water quality. Isn't that crazy? Like, of all the child deaths in the world, 50% is because of water pollution. So if you thought this topic was boring, I hope that now you realize how important and dangerous water pollution is and why we have to do something to help the environment and help people from not dying. And over the past 100 years, 1% has been increasing every single year. So that means like water pollution is getting worse and worse day by day since 1980. Some of the things that cause water pollution are things like industrialization. I can't pronounce this word. Industrialization. You know what I mean. Agricultural production and urban life. So to sum this up, water pollution is caused by both human activities and natural factors, but humans do have a lot of influence in this. So, yes. The article suggests that people that have a filtered water source in their homes are safer than people that don't. And the lack of water sanitation services increases diseases like cholera, trachoma, and other diseases that are very hard to pronounce but very dangerous, and you don't want to get those, right? Right. Okay. So for this second source, instead of focusing a lot on water pollution in drinking water, we're focusing more on water, on bodies of water and how that gets polluted. So here it says that a lot of the plastic waste is the reason for water pollution in oceans, and majority comes from land, swept into rivers by rain, wind, and basically erosion in general. And the thing is about plastic, when it gets into the ocean, it does not decompose. So it just stays there and it breaks down into pieces, which is very, very, very hard to get cleaned up. And things like marine life, like turtles or fish, can mistake this plastic as food. Apart from that, plastic also has toxic chemicals, and these can spread in the ocean. And so for this article, Judith Enck, which was a former regional administration, said that her idea to reduce water pollution in the ocean and bodies of water was only going to happen by finding new ways to get plastic out of the market. So basically, what they're saying is that plastic should not be created in the first place, and there has to be other things to replace plastic. Now for the third and last article that I found. This one is also talking about water that we drink, and how that can affect us health-wise, and a lot of the diseases that we can get from drinking water that is not well maintained. So specifically, we're talking about a chemical that can be found in water, and this is arsenic. And this is a known human carcinogen. I'm not sure how to pronounce that word. So this is basically associated with cancers, and mostly cancers from skin, bladder, and lungs. Chronic exposure to this chemical can also lead to things like respiratory diseases, cardiovascular disease, adverse birth outcomes, and metabolic disorders as well as diabetes. So there can be a lot of health things that come from drinking unhealthy and unsafe water. In this article, they present some new information that we have not really talked or probably thought about ever. And this is that outdated infrastructure can also make this water unsafe. So that's like things like the distribution system in the pipes. And if that's like contaminated, then that can obviously contaminate our water. And the solution that this author presents is that disinfection of drinking water is one of the most important and necessary ways to prevent water pollution. And that was all three of the articles that I found. And now for my suggestions. So I really agree with the first article, in where the author Laura Pattison gave the suggestion of creating less plastic materials. So I think that definitely is probably the most beneficial way to stop water pollution in water sources, in the ocean, lakes, and things like that. Because if there's no plastic, then plastic can't hurt us, right? Because there's no plastic. So I think that definitely, if we really want to concentrate on diminishing water pollution, we should start finding other materials to make water bottles of, or plastic, just replace it totally, like no plastic forks and things like that. And as for the drinking water, I think it is really important for us to be constantly checking its quality, so that way we're not accidentally drinking water that is very, very horrible for our health. So I think that's just like something that individual people can do at their homes, like test their water frequently to make sure that they're not going to get diseases that are going to kill them. And then lastly, for my last thought and suggestion that I have to fix this problem, is to put more consequences, like on people that litter and purposely destroy the ecosystem. Like, I think there should be more consequences, because that's how people would stop doing this on purpose. And of course, it's not always on purpose, but for the people that do litter and throw trash out the window in the car or whatever, this would lower that. And so I think it would really help. Anyway, that is it for me. I hope that you guys learned something and realize how important water pollution is, and how dangerous and how much it affects the world. And hopefully you do something about it. Like, if you litter, don't, because now you know all the consequences that come from it.